Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeoXO coming back at y'all with another Black Clover video. And today's topic that I want to talk about is, are the Black Clover Devils inherently evil? Now, I want to make this video because I'm on a roll with the videos and I'm gonna have a follow-up video to this in a couple days or whatever. So subscribe if you want to see that. But before I, talk about the other video that I want to talk about, I want to make this video right here because that one's kind of a follow-up video. So, are the Black Clover Devils inherently evil? And I'm gonna have to say that they're not, and I'm gonna explain why I don't think that they are. Now, if we take a look at the devils in Black Clover and even the demons by extension, we see that Libe is not evil. So there can be a couple of different theories as to why Libe isn't evil, and I'm gonna go ahead and state my own theories, what I personally believe, and things like that. So to start with, Libe actually wasn't in the underworld for the majority of his lifetime. We know that some point whenever Libe was younger, he escaped the underworld and was sent to the human world. And piggybacking off of that, we know that he was able to do this because he didn't possess any mana. He didn't have any magic. So he was able to pass straight through the magical barrier that was separating the underworld from the human world. So that can be another reason why he isn't evil. Maybe it's the devil's magic that makes them evil, because it seems that the devils value power over anything else. We know that it's stated that devils are kind of born into their ranking and they don't progress up the ranking, and whatever rank they're born at is the order that they stay in the pecking order. So we know Libe is supposedly low ranking, so he really doesn't possess a lot of power. And if you know anything about power can go to your head. Like, let's take a devil on the opposite side of the spectrum, like Lucifero. Lucifero was born with all of this incredible power. It's stated that people can't even be in the presence of Lucifero and still be allowed to function as normal. So when it comes to evil, that can be a high contributing factor as to why some of the higher ranking devils are so evil. Now, going back to some of the low ranking devils, we see that they are evil for the most part as well. Whenever the Tree of Qliphoth was opening, the devils were storming out, some of the low ranking devils. Of course, they had Lilith and Nama, who also were, released. But talking about the low ranking devils, the ones who are less humanoid, they seem evil as well, but they don't have as much power. Now, this could just simply be because of happenstance. They were born in the underworld, and also, to me personally, I don't know about everyone else, but to me personally, some of the lower ranking devils, they don't seem as intelligent as some of the higher ranking humanoid devils. Like, Libe is a lot more humanoid than some of the other lower ranking devils, and he seems more intelligent. Now, there can be a lot of theories that this goes into. I'm just going to mention them. I'm not going to get in depth, but one of the theories that has been gaining a little bit of traction is the theory that the devils were not originally devils, and that they were originally something else, and then their soul kind of fell, I guess, because in Christianity, Lucifer actually was an angel, but he had fallen, and that's how he became a devil. So that's just something to think about. Not really going to go too deep into it. Now, taking a look at some of the other devils that are a little bit more similar to Libe, in a sense that they aren't as evil or aren't inherently evil like the other devils that have been portrayed in the series. Knox Devils. If you take a look at Knox Devils, they don't seem to be straight up evil. They don't seem to have any malice towards Noct or anyone else. They basically, ever since the contract with Noct, they basically are working on the side of good. Noct would never allow his devils to commit evil atrocities or anything like that. The follow-up video that I was talking about is, can these devils be redeemed? Devils such as Magicula, we've known that she did evil things in the past. Lucifero, can these devils be redeemed? Now, that's not the topic for today, but this is why I wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for that video. So to just bluntly answer the question, are the devils inherently evil? I would have to say that I don't think so, because we've seen the devils like Libe and Knox Devils not be evil. Now, going a little bit more in depth about some of the ones that have been portrayed to be evil, such as Zagrid, Magicula, Lucifero, it could be due to how much power they have. They just, like, and especially in the case of somebody like Lucifero, he probably is so powerful that no one can ever oppose him. And, you know, in life, there's checks and balances, all right? Like, in life, there's always supposed to be somebody bigger and badder than you, so you can't get away with doing things that you would do necessarily to somebody weaker if you would try to do those things to somebody stronger. But in the case of Lucifero, it seems that there aren't many people who are actually stronger than him to put him in check, so he would just be allowed to do anything that he wants, and of course that's just going to make him more evil and evil. Now, like I said, in the case of some of the lower ranking devils, it's just a case of happenstance. So two things really mainly about the lower ranking devils: they don't seem as intelligent as the higher ranking devils, so they just may be chaotic by nature of not knowing any better. Now, when it comes to the devils who do know better, then they have their individual motives. Like Magicula, her motive was she just wanted to be freed from the underworld. Zagrid had motives too. He wanted to take over the kingdoms and be, I guess, the one in control of the kingdoms, and that just stems from him being in the underworld where he wasn't in control of the underworld. But he probably figured if he could come to the human world where the citizens are weaker, then he could be high ranking in that society, unlike the society where he was in, where you're kind of born into your ranking. So Knox Devils could have originally been evil, but the fact that they have a contract with Knox, they kind of were tamed down over time. So, you know, like in the real world, things can be tamed. And ultimately, they were able to get out of their circumstance. And possibly a character like Asta can see this and say, okay, you guys don't need to be evil. I understand you're evil because you're constantly being bullied and constantly being taken advantage of, and constantly just being tortured and beaten up on. Like, it's just you're just a product of your environment at that point. And I think that's really what it comes down to with a lot of the devils. They're just a product of their environment. I mean, if you're put in an environment where you're just constantly fighting all the time and you have no choice, if you want to not fight, you could just get beat up. That's kind of the circumstance that a lot of the devils are put in. But also it could be due to the mana they possess, because like I said, Libe doesn't even possess mana. So the mana they possess, we've seen beings like Dark Elf Patri. I would say he's inherently evil because of the mana that he possessed at that time. So some of the mana that these devils could possess possibly has something to do with whether they're more or less evil, you know, if they can't control it. Like in the case of Dark Elf Patri, he could not control the rage, you know what I mean? So yeah, to finish off this video, I don't think that the devils necessarily have to be evil. I think that it's just a lot of them are choosing to be evil. Like Lucifero clearly has emotions, so he can choose to not lay harm to the humans, but his thought process and his motives, he just doesn't see the humans as equal, and he sees them as lesser and below him. But he could change those evil thoughts if he wanted to. But in the case of somebody like Licht, whenever Licht was turned into an ancient demon, I think it heavily does have something to do with the mana, because Licht wasn't an evil being. However, whenever he was transformed into the ancient demon, he was acting in malice. So it is kind of like a case-by-case basis, and it doesn't cover every single devil or every single being from the underworld. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.